Welcome to Show Jumping Life. I'm David Portner, and I'm here with the FEI Veterinary Delegate, Dr. Mike Tomlinson. Hi, Mike.
Hi there. Appreciate you having me on today.
Thank you. So tell us, what is your role here?
My role as the FEI Veterinary Delegate, in one sentence, is to speak for the horse.
And then what are your primary objectives?
My objectives here are threefold. The first objective is to ensure the welfare of the horses here. Make sure that every horse is well cared for, not hurt, and performs to the best of their ability. The second objective is to make certain the event is fair. Not only fair to the horse, fair to the competitors, fair to the viewing public, fair to the show organizers, fair to the sponsors. So, the third objective is to make it fun for everybody here. Make it fun for the riders, make it fun for the sponsors, make it fun for the horses, too.
So now how do you go about doing that?
Well, everybody thinks that the FEI veterinarian is simply here for the jog. And that is what the FEI veterinarian's most visible duty is to stand and watch the horses jog down, jog back, and say whether they are sound. We actually are not saying whether they're sound. We're simply saying whether they are fit to compete.
Okay.
We have two criteria for that. Mm-hmm. The obvious one is welfare of the horse.
Sure.
Should they be competing? But the other one is public perception. If your grandmother's sitting in the stands and go, what's wrong with that horse? That horse can't compete. But the jog is just one tiny little part of what I do here. My first day, the day before the jog, is spent reviewing passports, making certain that all of the identification, the vaccination, the health status of the horse is acceptable enough to go into the secured stabling. Okay. In FEI, we have secured stabling, which is different than just being in the barns. The secured stabling is a fenced area with a guard. The secured area...
Now why do they need to have a secured area with a guard?
For FEI, we examine every horse, or should examine every horse prior to the jog, and then after the jog, they go into the secured area. So every horse in there, we know the vaccination status, we know the health history, we have certificates on all sorts of stuff. Mm-hmm. We know that they're not going to have a communicable disease. Any other horse that we have not examined, we cannot allow into the secured area. Right. That's the primary reason. Other reasons are that we will know who goes in, who goes out. If a horse were to get loose within the secured area, they're secured. One of the great things about it is that we can say from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m., nobody's allowed to have the horses out, nobody's allowed to be making noise. Let the horses sleep. It's very important for horses to get rest at these big competitions.
Well, that's great. So what happens after the jog?
After the jog, once we know who is competing and who isn't, then we have a rider meeting. And at that meeting, all the competitors should be there, and all of their questions are answered. I will attend, or do attend, so that I can answer any questions they may have about how best to help their horse perform. Right. Riding at the FEI level is different, and if you haven't done it quite frequently, there are things that can be done. Everybody goes, well, gee, you're riding FEI, you can't do anything. No, there's lots of stuff you can do. Right. And I like to help them know what they can do and can't do so that they can perform to the best of their ability. So that's the rider meeting. After the rider meeting, there's supposed to be a veterinary meeting where all the veterinarians, all of the private veterinarians meet. Right. And we get to know each other and also discuss medication control, what's changed, what's new, what they can do, what they can't do. And then once the day of meetings and the jog and the exam are all done, for the rest of the event, I can't go home. I have to be here. From that point on, my job is to observe, to prevent any issues, and then if something does happen, to authorize the treatment of them. Any horse that is treated in the FEI barn, I have to authorize the treatment prior to their veterinarian doing it.
Now, I understand there's also a responsibility for inspecting the boots before the horses go into the arena?
Actually, the boot check, which is done at every FEI competition,
Right.
we inspect the hind boots prior to going in, and then we inspect 1, 2, or all 4 of the boots as they come out. The chief steward is required to do the exit exam on all the boots, and I am required to be present. What we are looking for there is anybody who is not following the fairness rules, and welfare of the horse is our primary goal there.
Right. Thank you very much. That sounds like a lot of work, but we're certainly glad you're here. So thank you, Dr. Mike.
Thank you very much, David. Look forward to working with you all weekend.
Thank you. This video is sponsored by Old Dominion Saddlery. Fine used French saddles for less.